Hey everyone. So one of the things I'd like to talk about today is the option of working for the federal government. And I know if you're thinking about early retirement, the FIRE movement, living abroad, things like that, the government may seem like a strange option for you. But whether you're thinking about it or if you're already in it, I'd like to get the most money possible out of it and have the best experience possible. And I should say that not all federal jobs are created equal. Now I do work for the federal government and I do have permission to do these videos. I had to clear it through my Office of General Counsel. And even though I'm not going to tell you specifically where I work, I did, as part of our deal, mention that whenever my employer's name comes up, that I would give the standard disclaimer, which, these are my opinions and not the opinions of anyone where I work or certainly the agency. So without naming the agency, I will give you that disclaimer, and then I'll tell you what's really important, how you can work at the federal government and make anywhere from 10 to 40% more than other federal employees. And, I'm not going to hide the ball on you. That's what you came here for. And I will say that part of what keeps a lot of people from considering the federal government is when you look at the GS tables, you think, I'm making more than that. Why would I do that? But at a certain type of agency, you will make a lot more than the GS system because they're not on the GS system. So there's a category of federal agencies called the FIRREA agencies, FIRREA, FIRREA, and that stands for the Financial Institution Reform, Recovery, Enforcement Act of 1989. And these are the financial regulators. All the financial regulators, except for the Treasury, are not on the GS system. And the reason for that is when they hire people from the private sector in order to compete with places like Wall Street and be able to hire really good economists and attorneys, they needed to offer a salary that was not on the GS system. And it worked. They have very talented people at all the FIRREA agencies, but the side effect of that is that if you're at a FIRREA agency, you're not on the GS system, and that salary applies even if you're not an attorney or an economist. So if you're a paralegal, if you're in HR, if you're a secretary, if you're an IT guy, you are getting anywhere from 10 to 40% more for doing your job at one of these FIRREA agencies than you would working at HHS or DOJ or something like that. So if you are a federal employee and you're thinking about leaving for the private sector because you would like to make more money, I would just encourage you to consider go on USA Jobs and look for your same job category, but at one of these FIRREA agencies, FIRREA. And I'll leave a description of each of the agencies in the description, but basically the FIRREA agencies are the CFPB, the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, the CFTC, the SEC, the OCC, the Office of Controller of the Currency, the NCUA, the National Credit Union Association or Agency, FDIC, again, banking, and the FRB, the Federal Reserve Board. So I'll list them in the description, but those are the agencies you want to target. As I said, you'll be making more than you would in the GS system. And just to give you an example, let's say that you were working at this agency and you worked your way up to the top and you're ready to retire, but you never quite made it to management. So you were a GS 14, not a 15 because you didn't make it up to management. So what would you top out at? Well, the GS 14 step 10 in the federal system as of 2023 is $129,878. At these FIRREA agencies, it would be $176,686. That's the base rate. And as you know, if you're in the federal government, and you may not know if you're not in the federal government, you take your base pay and then you get a locality adjustment. So somebody in New York City would get 40% added to that base pay. Somebody in St. Louis might get 10%. So working off that base pay, you would adjust upwards depending on which metropolitan area you live in. So I'll take Washington, D.C. for an example, because it's where I live and where I'm most familiar. So if you were a GS 14 step 10. So the highest you can go as a 14 in the federal system and not supervise anyone. Just a worker bee, you work there, you were never a manager. In the DC area, you would top out at $172,675. GS 14 step 10, 172,000. If you're at one of these FIRREA agencies, that would jump to $234,091 as of 2023. So it's a big step up in pay for doing essentially the same work. And if you are in the private sector and you're thinking about the federal government because you have a family, you don't want to work nights, you don't want to work weekends, or you're called to public service because you want to help others, you want to be on the side of the good guys, going after fraud, going after evildoers. This is the agencies that I'd like you to look at. You will get the same pay or more pay for doing the same thing, I should say. You get great benefits, the TSP, you get agency matching, and all those things, they add up in considering the total package and what it will take to get you to early retirement, and financial independence, which is what we're all shooting for. So anyway, this video, I hope you got something out of. And like and subscribe to this. I'd love to do a lot more content like this and provide you useful information. And if you have any questions or topics that you'd like me to discuss, you can put that below as well. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.